And this Brewers-Giants series is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Good crowd filing into Miller Park. It's the Giants and the Brewers, Game 3 of this 4-game series. It'll wrap up tomorrow afternoon. Our pitching matchup tonight, Jimmy Nelson. He has been rolling here lately. Matter of fact, the Brewers starting rotation has been fantastic. A 1.22 ERA in the last 12 games. Chase Anderson kept the ball rolling last night. And Jimmy Nelson will get the ball here tonight, matching up against Giants left-hander Ty Blach. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight. We're looking forward to this matchup. I'm Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard is our reporter. Let's get into Jimmy Nelson right away, Rock, because here's a guy who's always had the stuff. Now he's commanding the stuff. What's been the difference this year for him?
Well, the fastball, and it started in the beginning of May. 6 straight starts. Jimmy Nelson has been locked in with the fastball. Everything else has been pretty good, but the thing about Nelson right now, the fastball has been very good. Look at the numbers. No walks. 21 strikeouts. Now look at these pitches. I mean, most of them fastballs, good locations. Even when he does get a little bit too much to the plate, the velocity has been good. The slider's back. He's starting to throw the curveball. And those pitches on the corners, down, up in the strike zone. Outstanding work for Jimmy Nelson, just picking up where every one of these starters has left off. You can see where he sits right now. 10 consecutive games with 10 or more strikeouts, and Jimmy Nelson right at the top of the list.
Well, he's got a chance to make it 3 consecutive games. He joins 3 others on the list. Gallardo there twice. Jimmy Nelson has this active 10 or more strikeout run going. Can he do it once again? We've got some injury news in the starting rotation. Matt Garza is the headline. Sophia will catch us up on whether Matt Garza is going to be able to make his start tomorrow. That's coming up right after this.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Getting ready for first pitch here at Miller Park. Game 3 between the Brewers and the Giants. Brewers coming off of the win last night. Tonight on the mound, it'll be a meeting of Ty Blach, who's coming off of a complete game against the Phillies since May 11th. He's gone 4-0. The earned run average just 1.91. And Jimmy Nelson for the Brewers has been just as dominant. A 2-1 record for him. Same ERA, 1.93. The opponent average just 2.50. Nelson is coming off of 8 shutout innings in his last start against the Dodgers. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minard here at Miller Park, and Matt Garza was scheduled to be tomorrow's starter. He threw a bullpen yesterday, but was unable to complete the bullpen, still feeling tightness in his shoulder. Went just 25 pitches, and here's the reason why. Remember, in Saturday, his previous start, he had this collision with first baseman Jesus Aguilar at first base. Garza saying that collision felt like running into an F-350, so he will not make his start tomorrow. He's been placed on the 10-day disabled list with a chest contusion. Garza hopeful it'll be just one start for him that he'll have to miss. So the corresponding move, Travis Shaw, has been reinstated from the paternity list, and tomorrow it'll be Paolo Espino who will make the start in place of Garza. Remember, he made his major league debut at Wrigley Field just a few weeks ago in April. So we're getting ready for first pitch here at Miller Park. Buster Posey, the Giants, Hernan Perez, and the Brewers. Should be a great matchup here at Miller Park. First pitch coming up next with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder.
Hit the field tonight at Miller Park, ready to take on the San Francisco Giants. Game 3 of this 4-game series, and Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin tonight is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. What a night for baseball. 72 degrees, roof is wide open. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard. Tonight's game produced by Dan Keener, directed by Renardo Lowe, and we're glad you're with us tonight. Bruce Bochy, 3-time World Series champion manager of the Giants, now in his 11th year. Had 12 years in San Diego prior to that. His batting order looks like this, courtesy of Potawatomi, with Span, Nunez, and Belt, Posey, Crawford, and Pence, Panik, Caliste, and Block round out the starting 9 that will face the 6'6" Jimmy Nelson, trying to keep this impressive run going on the mound. Just 1 earned run in his last 2 starts, covering 15 innings.
And he's got that earned run average down to 3.36, and his last 2 outstanding 15 innings, only 1 run. Pounding the strike zone with a fastball.
Yeah, maybe most impressively, no walks in those last 15 innings. As Nelson pumps a strike in there on Denard Span. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off and running here at Miller Park. Very comfortable conditions here. A little bit of breeze blowing through the ballpark. It's always hard to tell where the wind is blowing out, but it feels like down on the field earlier, feels like the wind's blowing out to right center. And Span hits one out that way, and he's going to split the gap. All the way to the wall it goes. Santana up with it, and it's a leadoff double for Denard Span, who now has a 6-game hit streak.
Yeah, Jimmy got a fastball down the middle that time, and Span able to turn on it. He has no problem with the fastball, this guy. Levels on it right down the middle and finds a gap out in right center. Yeah, Giants have had a very difficult time putting runs on the board this year. And a leadoff double here in the first.
Span swinging a good bat lately. Now 11 hits in his last 22 at-bats. And it's a lead double for Eduardo Nunez, who has been one of their best hitters as of late. Nunez homered in the opener here. That was Monday night. 4-game series in all with the Giants. First look at the Giants this season. 5 hits in the series, including a homer, scored 3 runs, and Rocky has played spectacular third base defensively.
Yeah, he's opened up some eyes. I mean, it's not a surprise to the Giants, but I think people around here have been impressed.
Little tapper, and now Pena is going to get Span in a rundown. He played that perfectly, and the tag on Span. Just as I'm saying he played that perfectly, he made the throw, the wrong throw, but it does record an out.
Well, he didn't run him back far enough. I mean, he did the right thing. He was running him back towards second base. Just keep running him and maybe flip it over to Villar or Arcia in this case. I mean, right now that's not when you want to throw it right here. Keep running at him. You get the out, and you probably keep Nunez at first base. But they did get the lead runner.
That could feel like some uncharted territory, right, for a catcher all the way out there nearing the skin of the infield dirt. But yeah, the play was to run him back to second base. At any rate, 1 out, runner at second. And here's Brandon Belt.
Span did a good job to stay in the rundown. I mean, once you get caught in a pickle like that, your job is to stay in that rundown long enough for, you know, the runner, in this case Nunez, to get into second base. So you just basically trade places with him, no harm, if you're talking about the offense.
And you could almost think along with Manny Pena too. You know, he's out there in catcher's equipment. He's got a catcher's glove on. He's running back a very fast base runner. I'm sure there's a little panic setting in. I got to get rid of this ball as soon as possible and get it to an infielder.
Right.
He's been excellent this year, Manny Pena. He and Jet Bandy have been a great story this season for the Brewers, the catching tandem.
You can tell he's thinking about that play. Yeah. You can see his face, and you know, he's kind of disappointed, you know, at the outcome. He knew that he could have gotten that out and kept Nunez at first.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Belt a swing and a miss. 1-2 now. I'll take us through it here, Rock.
Well, I guess if you had to do over again, Pena does the right thing running at him. What you do is you get in front between he and third base and run him back, and he didn't do that long enough, and you could see Nunez able to cruise on into second base.
You could even see Arcia, so heady at 22 years of age, waving for Pena, keep running toward the dirt circle. They'll try a pickoff play. Arcia coming in behind Nunez. Good way to keep the runner close. The numbers for Brandon Belt. He's been their best home run hitter. It has been an offense that has sputtered along this season. The San Francisco Giants with the fewest homers in Major League Baseball. They have hit 3 homers in the last 9 games, but only 45 for the season. Put it this way, they've hit 1 fewer homer in the last 9 games than Scooter Gennett hit last night.
How about that night?
We're going to get more into Scooter's night. Maybe the greatest night of offense in Major League Baseball history, with 5 hits and 10 RBIs. That was something. And Nelson misses up and away to Brandon Belt. 3-2 the count. Full count, 1 away. Belt in the air, foul. Part of the story for Jimmy Nelson is, as Rock mentioned, the command. The fact that he has not walked a batter since a start on May 23rd against Toronto.
Yeah, 7th inning walk to Jose Bautista. That ended his night, but throwing a lot of strikes last 2 games. One of the reasons why his pitch count has been down. He threw 8 innings against the Dodgers. Scoreless, only 101 pitches.
15 innings without a walk, and that is going to be snapped right here. So Jimmy Nelson walks Brandon Belt, 1st and 2nd, with Posey coming up.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense for tonight. You got Hernan Perez out in left field. Broxton Santana round out the outfield. Travis Shaw's back. He's at 3rd base. Arcia VR up the middle. Jesus Aguilar at 1st base. And Manny Pena behind home plate.
4-man umpiring crew in place. Tim Woodring calling the balls and strikes. Ed Hickox, Ron Kulpa, Chris Conroy on the bases. Kulpa's the crew chief out at 2nd base this evening. So 1 away. Here's Posey. Giants threaten in the 1st inning, and their best hitter at the plate. RBI numbers are way down for Posey, but the batting average is high. The on-base percentage is up there. And Nelson starts him with a breaking ball and misses.
Yeah, 16 RBIs as we work here. You know, 1st week in June. But he did drive in a run last night.
Posey checks in 3rd in the National League in batting. Ryan Zimmerman leads the league, hitting .365. There's a strike. Posey at .349 and an on-base percentage at .439. So a high batting average to start with, and then nearly 100 points higher on the on-base percentage. He's walking a lot. He is the premier piece in this San Francisco offense. In the air, right field. Posey sending Santana way back there, and he's got just enough room to haul it in for the out.
Yeah, Jimmy fortunate right there. And fastball in, 94 miles an hour. Posey got it in on the hands just a little bit, and not able to drive it. He popped it up, and it just kept going out there in the warning track and right. Got it back in the hitting zone a little bit. Didn't get the good extension.
You know, Posey struggles. Most of it you can pin on the hitters in front of him, the lack of hitting in front of him. But that's a case right there where Posey misses an opportunity to drive in some runs. And a big out for Nelson early in this 1st inning, trying to get settled in the game and having to make some high stress pitches early. 1st and 3rd for Brandon Crawford. He jammed him, got in on his hands, and a swing and a foul. Crawford checks in at .258 with just 4 homers and 24 runs batted in, and has been a very slow start for a major offensive weapon for the Giants in past years. Brandon Crawford.
It's been a slow start as a group for the Giants offensively, near the bottom in a lot of the offensive categories.
Swinging a foul tip right into the mid of Pena.
Yeah, it's never really been a juggernaut offense, these Giants, but their pitching has been so good over the years that has been able to carry them into the playoffs and World Series victories. But you know, pitching has been a little shaky this year.
Now, they are not accustomed to being middle of the pack in the National League with their pitching staff, which is where they are statistically starting play today. World Series titles in 10, 12, and 14. That even year run that they had, those 3 in a row. Missed last year. They made it to the postseason, but missed a World Series. They lost to the Cubs After winning the wild card game against the New York Mets, lost to the Cubs in 4 games in a very entertaining NLDS.
Bruce Bochy, a Hall of Fame manager?
Oh, for sure, right? Three
no
doubt. World Series titles, I believe so. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he started his career in San Diego. He had a great run there with the Padres. World Series in '98 with them, and former catcher Bruce Bochy. Oh, 2 the count. And did he go? He did not. Close. Very close.
Good breaking ball right there by Jimmy, and apparently Crawford able to hold up just barely. I don't know. That could have been a swing.
For sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See what Nelson has in mind here. 1st and 3rd, runner goes, and a high pop up. Long run in, long run out. Shaw gives way to Arcia, who makes a catch to end the inning. So Nelson, a little high stress first inning, but he puts up a 0, and now the Brewers are coming up. Giants failed to score. Strand a pair of base runners against Jimmy Nelson. And now Craig Counsell, year 3, 2nd full season with the Brewers. Took over in May of 2015. Here's his batting order today, and it's worth talking about. He's got Jonathan Villar leading off. Santana hits 2nd, then Aguilar. In the middle goes Shaw, Perez, Pena, Broxton, Arcia, Nelson round out the starting 9 Potawatomi batting order for the Brewers against left-hander Ty Blach, who went the distance, and a shutout against the Philadelphia Phillies his last time out.
Yeah, his last 5 starts, he's been very good, taking that rotation spot of Madison Bumgarner. Last 5, 4-0 and 191 earned run average. He's been much better at home than on the road this year. A control pitcher, left-hander.
And Craig Counsell trying to get as many right-handed bats in there as he can. The only lefty that's in the lineup is Travis Shaw, who hits cleanup here tonight. And Rocky, look at the Brewers lineup, and it feels like Craig Counsell is trying to restart what in his mind is his best batting order, with VR at the top, Santana hitting in that 2 spot. And we'll see if the move works. VR hasn't swung the bat all that well, but this is the guy that the Brewers are desperate to have in their leadoff spot.
And you could tell that Craig Counsell just trying to get him going, because he'd love to have VR consistent like he was last year in that leadoff spot. Craig has had a number of guys try that leadoff spot. Sogard's been good, but he's not in there against a lefty tonight.
Looking at the leadoff spot in the batting order, and a lot of teams do struggle to find that one guy every day. VR has been the most oft-used leadoff hitter this year. This is his 44th game as the leadoff batter, but Sogard has come on as of late. He's been fantastic, and the team is 8-1 with Sogard in the leadoff spot. Keon Broxton's got 6 games there. They even used Nick Franklin once. Chopper over to third base. Nunez has been gobbling up everything in this series, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good defense for the San Francisco Giants so far this year. They've always been very solid defensively. They got Calixte in left, Span in center, Hunter Pence in right. You got Nunez, Crawford, Panic, and Belt from third to first, and Buster Posey behind home plate. Your Giants Menards defense tonight.
Posey's caught all 3 games in this series. 3 night games and a matinee tomorrow to round it out. And then the Brewers are on the road. They go to Arizona for a weekend series with the Diamondbacks, the surging Diamondbacks. And then a trip to St. Louis to play 4 games in 3 days against the Cardinals. Got a doubleheader on Tuesday.
Going to be running into some hot weather on this road trip. Of course, you're inside in Arizona. It's going to be in the hundreds outside in Phoenix. They're expecting 90s. Temperatures in the 90s in St. Louis.
Easy to get loose. Santana sends one to right. Pretty well hit. Back is Pence. He is out of room. It is gone. Santana, right field homer. Number 11 on the year, and the Brewers again score in the first inning.
Well, Santana is centering on one, taking it to the opposite field. Well, he's been hot, swinging the bat well.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. The Brewers have now outscored their opponent 56-17 in the first inning.
And one of the reasons why the Brewers have had a lead in just about every game. First inning success. It really wasn't a bad pitch. It might have been up a little bit, but it was on the corner. Santana goes right with it.
Jesus Aguilar makes a ball high. So this is game 60 of the season. The Brewers have scored 56 runs in the first inning of these 60 games. A phenomenal number. I was talking to Darnell Coles about the early scoring today, the Brewer hitting coach, and he loves the idea that they're coming out and doing their homework, getting ready to match up against a particular pitcher. He loves that part about it, but he was asking for a little extra from his offense in recent days. Keep that pressure on, those tack-on runs, especially when you get into the relievers and you get into the late innings. Aguilar sends one a mile high down the left field line. It's got a big hook on it, and it is foul. It is hit off the facing of the club level.
And up on a breaking ball.
Whew. And he turns around and tells Tom Woodring, I hit that off the end of the bat.
And he says, is that a strike?
There's a call, strike 3. Aguilar disagrees and on his way out.
There's some parting shots, but looked like a decent pitch. Borderline down and in. Yep.
Yeah, good pitch. There aren't many lefties that can hit that spot.
Especially after Aguilar just hit one a mile down and in on a curveball, go right back to that same spot on the fastball.
2 away. Here is Travis Shaw now, Brewer third baseman. Shaw is the Brewer RBI leader with 40. Little jam shot foul. Comes in with an OPS of 869 today, does Shaw. That's a 339 on base percentage plus a 530 slugging percentage. A little jam shot pop up behind the plate. Posey has room to make the catch, and that will retire the side. But the Brewers put a run on the board early. Ty Block threw a shutout his last time out. Not tonight. Birdie hits the slide. Another trip down the slide brought to you by Quick Trip. And a homer, the Brewers have a 1-0 lead, and we remind you that tonight's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in its 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas and in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. Welcome all of you watching wherever you may be. Hope we can bring a little piece of home to you. Thank you very much for your service. Hunter Pence leads off for the Giants. Nelson issuing a walk and a double in the first inning, left 2 runners stranded. Chase Anderson's got the long consecutive scoreless inning streak going, 21 2/3. Nelson has only given up 1 run now in his last 16 innings. It has been quite a boost in this starting rotation, and when you think about where this rotation was in spring training, Rock, these are not jobs that were winnable for everyone. The Brewers had what, 7 starters for 5 spots, and Jimmy Nelson and Chase Anderson were in a little bit of a vulnerable position going into this season.
Yeah, Willie Peralta as well. Willie started in the rotation, is now in the bullpen, but the only 2 guys that were locked into a spot were Junior Guerra, Zach Davies, and the rotation has been terrific. It was Taylor Youngman, Tommy Malone that was in the mix, and nothing wrong with a little competition.
2-2 the count on Hunter Pence. 3-2 now. You can see by the way Nelson stands on top of the mound, he has quieted down his mechanics. Derek Johnson deserves a lot of credit. Jimmy Nelson gives the pitching coach a lot of credit. He's tried to simplify. There's a broken bat, little flare that's going to end up in the seats. And Pence is going to need a new piece of lumber.
Yeah, that abbreviated windup for Jimmy Nelson. You see a number of pitchers around baseball doing that. Starts out, it looks like they're working out of the stretch, but they move the foot a little bit differently. And yeah, I think Derek Johnson does deserve a lot of credit. He's stuck with these guys. There were some struggles, you know, through the rotation, and just his persistence in trying to tweak one thing or another with each one of them. Everybody's different. They're all different.
Big bouncing ball. Arcia racing in, gloves it, throws in time for the out. Nice play by Arcia. Guy makes it look easy out there every night.
Yeah, check out the windup of Jimmy Nelson. I mean, you talk about simplifying things and not trying to get too crazy with a lot of movement before he gets rid of the baseball. Good balance on the back leg that abbreviated windup has really helped him to stay compact and really has allowed him the ability to stay on top of a lot of his pitches, and that's why he's getting that good downward action on the fastball, and he's getting good tilt on his slider.
One away. Here is Joe Panik. Takes a strike from Nelson. This guy's been a tough out for Jimmy. Pretty small sample size, but 8 at-bats career, and Joe Panik has 5 hits and a walk. His numbers, like many of the others, are down this season. And you start getting into the month of June like we are now, and you're looking up every night at those batting averages and the low production numbers. They say hitting is contagious, but so is lack of hitting.
Yeah, Giants next to last in batting average, runs scored, slugging percentage. Been a rough start offensively.
Hensley Mullins is their hitting coach, and I think he offers the same sentiments that any hitting coach does when a team is struggling, but you get a lineup that is not working in a connected fashion, but trying to do too much individually. Trying to hit those 6-run homers, right, with nobody on.
Right. Trying to, pick up the guy in front of you. Maybe didn't get the job done, didn't advance a base runner, didn't drive one in, and it's not that they're not trying, it's that they're trying too hard. These are good hitters for the Giants. And you got to figure at some point they're going to turn it around.
There's Hensley Mullins sitting next to his manager, Bruce Bochy. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Panik. In the air, right field. This is down the line. It is a fair ball and extra bases. Into second goes Joe Panik on a 1-2 pitch. He doubles down the right field line. His 6th career hit against Jimmy Nelson.
He got a slider, I believe it was a slider, in on him, and he's able to barrel it up, keep it fair. Not changeup, not a slider, it was a changeup, and Jimmy will throw changeups to lefties, not too much to right-handers, and Panik able to double down the line in right. 88 miles an hour. That's about the same velocity of his slider.
Jimmy's looking at his fingers after the last few pitches. I wonder if he's dealing with some blister problems. That'll be something to watch. Orlando Calixte at the plate with 1 out. 8th place hitter, and a big bender in there for a strike from Nelson. Those blister issues for pitchers, I mean, it comes up all the time. It could change everything you're trying to do with the baseball. Think about the pressure and the torque they're putting on the baseball, the seams of the ball with their fingertips, making it move one way or the other. And you get a hot spot in there, forget about it.
I was going to say, once you get that hot spot, you might eliminate throwing a certain pitch that creates that friction. And maybe it's a slider, maybe it's the curveball, who knows, but it's usually a breaking pitch.
Well, he's throwing him a couple of breaking balls. He's got Calixte 0-2. 8th place hitter in the Giants lineup.
Certain pitchers are just more predisposed to getting blisters. And there's that slider grip. You see the dot as it comes in. Good pitch. Oh, Calixte on the top of it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Key hitter here with a pitcher coming up next. Ooh, just missed. 94 with the fastball, a little bit inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Calixte. Let's see where this one missed.
Yeah, just a little bit off the inside corner with that power sinker. Sinker's in, sliders away. Just try and keep it away from the middle of the plate.
He has not proven he can get around on that fastball just yet. He's trying to dial it up. That one in there at 95 miles an hour. One out double by Panic. He's at second. And the Giants, for the second straight inning, put a runner in scoring position. And down he goes. Boy, you could see that coming, Rock. He set him up beautifully for that breaking ball.
It's okay to throw the breaking ball when a guy is behind your fastball, as long as you put it where Jimmy puts this one, away. You'd like to have it a little bit further down, but you know, you as a hitter, you sit up there, you're behind the fastball. What is the first thing you think of? I got to get the bat started quicker. So if you throw a good breaking pitch, it's got to be away. You don't want to hang him. You're doing the guy a favor.
It's the most fascinating part of the game, I think. The combination of catcher to pitcher. Pitcher is making the final decisions on what he wants to throw, but you know, sometimes it takes a hitter like Manny Pena,
right,
to be able to recognize what the opposing batter is trying to do. You know, you're looking at his feet sometimes, or he's talking to himself, trying to start the bat early.
And sometimes this is a good thing, or it couldn't be a bad thing. You sit back there and you start calling a game based on what you can't hit. Right? I mean, some guys will do that. I mean, I think I was guilty of that at some point.
Is that right?
But I mean, you're thinking, I mean, Cleek stays up there. He just can't get around on the fastball. And as a hitter, the last thing you want is to get jammed. Nobody wants to get jammed.
Right.
So what are you thinking? Okay, I'm going to start the bat quicker, a little bit earlier to get out on top, out ahead of that pitch. And a good slider is a good remedy to that.
There's a bit of slang that players use. You'll hear it a lot. They'll say, you know, as a hitter, or I'm recognizing a hitter's trying to cheat to the fastball. He's not trying to actually cheat. He's trying to cheat, meaning start his swing earlier.
Right.
Not be true with the swing
before he should,
compared to the pitch, which makes him susceptible to the breaking ball, and that's what Jimmy exposed. And he strikes out. The opposing pitcher blocks. So a one-out double. Jimmy leaves him stranded right there at second base. Bottom of the second coming your way.
The Brewers a 1-0 lead here at Miller Park. Our scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soup. Matt Garza going on the disabled list with the chest contusion. He will miss tomorrow's start. Craig Counsell said it will be Paulo Espino who will come in and fill in for Garza. Again, they're hopeful that Garza will miss just the one start, but Counsell was saying with Espino, he wants to see what he can do here now that he's getting his first start at Miller Park. Remember, when the 30-year-old came up and made his Major League debut, it was at Wrigley Field in wet, cold, very nasty conditions. So he said, I'm very hopeful that he'll have a much better outing. He said it was such a difficult day to pitch. Bad conditions for both teams. It was just a nasty game. So Espino has gone 4-1 with Colorado in 9 games started, a 3.26 earned run average. And in that Cubs start, He went just 4 innings, 3 runs, and 3 strikeouts. So they're hopeful to see what Espino can do here tomorrow at Miller Park.
Well, and they won that game, the Brewers did, at Wrigley Field on that Friday afternoon. Very rainy, cold conditions, as Sophia mentioned. So he gets another chance tomorrow. Look forward to that. Hernan Perez bounces out, first out of the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Hey, the only thing better than an awesome Brewers t-shirt is a Brewers t-shirt that you get for free. And on Friday, June 16th, the Brewers are giving away a free fan-designed t-shirt to the first 20,000 fans at Miller Park, courtesy of Hupie and Abraham.
I like that design. It's got the baseline kind of cutting through the script there. Good job, fans who designed that one. They asked Rock and I to design a shirt, and we ran out of crayons, though, so we decided not to push forward. Manny Pena with 1 out. Brewer catcher hitting .288. Over to short. Crawford, sure-handed as it gets. And the Gold Glove Award winner makes a play for out number 2.
By the way, I'm back to coloring again.
Oh yeah, you got you're in grandchild zone. Coloring is
fun.
It's actually very therapeutic.
Trying to teach her to stay in the lines, Madeline.
No. Let her go outside the lines, Rock. It's okay. You should stay in the lines.
What's new, right? Always have to stay in the lines.
I've noticed you have been a lot calmer this year now that you're coloring more often.
Coloring and watching kiddie shows.
What's your favorite?
I forget the name of the cartoon, but it's an animated show on Cartoon Network.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm not exactly sure what it's called. There's a kitten involved.
Keon Broxton, swing and a miss. Really? There's a kitten involved.
Maybe if my daughter's watching, she could text me the name of the cartoon.
And you're saying it's animated.
It's one of Madeline. Come on now. It's one of Madeline's favorites.
Little tapper back to the mound. And Block makes this a quick 3-up, 3-down inning.
Animated, yes, animated.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Cartoon Network.
In baseball last night, and still the talk of the game today, Scooter Gennett, his 4-home-run night last night in Cincinnati, a great American ballpark. Hit for the home run cycle, started with a grand slam in the 3rd off of Adam Wainwright. Just the 17th player in baseball history with 4 home runs in a single game, going 5 for 5 with the 10 RBIs. We asked Craig Counsell about it before the game. He said, when you look up and you see the score 10-0, he said, you know something crazy is happening, but he said, that wouldn't have been my first pick for it to be Scooter, but everyone here very happy for him. And the big news, of course, today here at Miller Park, Brian, it's your birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
That is big news. You're right, Sophia. Extraordinary. Oh, nice. That scoreboard, folks. Thank you for doing that. Yep.
How old are you?
Another birthday, 46.
Oh.
Oof. That doesn't sound good at all.
No?
No. Sounds awful.
What are you worried about, 50?
No, I don't know, man.
So what are you worried about, 46? You're just starting.
46-year-olds are old people. Now I'm one of them. Feeling old. Thank you for that.
By the way, I did get a text message. It was a Doc McStuffins.
Oh, that's the cartoon your granddaughter's into.
Yeah, and Paw Patrol. So
you know, Mike Faulkner, our stats man, was all over the Paw Patrol. He's a big fan of that. So, well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. You got to know your animated cartoons, right?
Animated cartoons. I'm not going to hear the end of that one, am I?
Paw Patrol. Top of the order, Denard Span for the Giants. We play in the third inning. 1-0 Brewers on a Domingo Santana home run. And Jimmy Nelson strikes him out. A big bender in there, and Span could not hold up. Down he goes, and 3 consecutive strikeouts for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, you want to try and stay away from the fastball to Denard Span, because he can turn on the fastball. Now this has more of a curveball look to it. It's hard to tell sometimes for Jimmy. That was 84 miles an hour down. A little bit more break than the slider, and not quite as fast as the slider.
1 gone. That'll bring up Eduardo Nunez. You know, normally, Rock, we like to, you and I like to downplay the birthday thing.
Yeah.
But today is a very special birthday for me, because today in my family, my brother and his wife had a baby.
Nice.
Is a bouncer that is through for a base hit. Eduardo Nunez with a single to center field. Yeah, my brother PJ, who's older than me, by the way, had a baby boy born on the same day that I was. And guess what they named him?
Ryan.
No.
PJ
Jackson. I was kind of hoping, you know, like, it's on my birthday, and you know, obviously I've been a huge inspiration in his life.
So you really weren't expecting me to guess correctly?
Right.
Isn't that Vassallo's kid's name?
Jackson. Yep. Jackson Hogan. Welcome to the world, Jackson. Got a new little nephew on board. I'm very happy.
Yep. You'll be watching Doc McStuffins soon.
Oh yeah. BJ and Maria.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, and the fact that he's born today makes it special. And it makes it easy to remember for me for years to come. Nelson facing Brandon Belt with a runner at first. Brewers were able to turn up 4 double plays last night. 3 of your traditional ground ball double plays, and they also had a strike them out, throw them out double play. Helped Chase Anderson have his longest outing of the year, 7 2/3 innings for Chase of shutout baseball. By the way, Anderson's earned run average last night dropped to 294, so he has gone sub-3. That gets your attention right away when you look at the stat sheet.
Yeah, incredible stuff. There's not a pitcher in baseball that is on more of a roll than he is.
Anderson went 7 2/3, 6 hits and no runs. Had 4 punch outs.
Yeah, throwing hard. You know, good location on the fastball. The curveball's been terrific.
Brewers banged out 11 hits last night. They won the game 5-2. It got a little testy late. Giants actually brought the tying run to the plate. Nunez goes. Pena's throw to second. The tag down in time. Manny Pena with the cannon for an arm. And Nunez is cut down. I think Nunez thinks he was safe. And the Giants will certainly take a look.
Not a very good jump. Throw a little bit high. I don't know.
And they will quickly ask for a review. The Giants challenge this. Hands on there. Tag's not there yet, so this is going to be overturned.
And it shouldn't take very long either.
Good work by our crew racking up those replays. And
Ron Culpa on the call.
Culpa is the crew chief. He's on the right. And the replay crew in Chelsea, New York will render their decision and let the umpires know.
Yeah, it's amazing when you watch these umpires as they look at the scoreboard. No reaction whatsoever. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're kind of stone-faced as they look up at the scoreboard with the headsets on. And I think Ron Culpa realized he missed this one.
No umpire wants to miss a call. You always want to get them right. That's bang bang. We have great technology these days. We can slow these replays down, and so it has been overturned. And Nunez with his 14th stolen base for the third consecutive inning. The Giants have a runner in scoring position. One minute 16 seconds on that challenge to get to a result. So one out, runner at second. Brandon Belt up there, and a 2-0 count. Belt shaking his head, not finding the right timing on the Jimmy Nelson offering. Nelson with 3 strikeouts already. He's walked a batter. He's given up 3 hits. Belt turns it around into right field, base hit. That's going to bring in a run. The stolen base pays off. Belt's on his way to second, and it's an RBI double, and the Giants have tied it at 1.
Man, that was a high fastball that time. Brandon Belt able to center on it. Doing a good job getting on top of a high fastball. Double number 12 for Belt. Fastball out over the plate, up in the zone, and he hits it hard. Quick hands for Belt, and that ties the game. Nunez, after the stolen base, comes around to score.
So that's a big call that's overturned. It helps set up the Giants to score the run. All even at 1 now. Belt replaces Nunez at second for Buster Posey. In the air, center field, way back there. Broxton looks up, and she is long gone. High off the scoreboard. Posey strikes with a 2-run home run. And the Giants have the lead 3-1.
Almost hit a home run to right field his first time up. This time getting the bat head out, knocking it off the scoreboard in center. 3 RBIs for Posey in the series. And check it out. First pitch slider. Kind of a cement mixer. Didn't do a whole lot. Just kind of spun up there down the middle of the plate. Right down the middle. And Posey knocks it out of here.
A no doubter off the scoreboard in center field. Brandon Crawford swings at the first pitch, fouls it away. For Buster Posey, that is home run number 8. His first 7 were all solo shots. And it's his first home run since May 15th, when he homered against the Dodgers. Homered against Grant Dayton, the left-hander of LA. So he's been a long drought at the plate. Breaks out of it here tonight.
Yeah, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs for Posey.
First time all year he's had a game driving in more than 1 run in a game. Swing and a miss. Nelson comes right back to get Crawford. Strikeout number 4. It's the second out of the inning.
Hey, baseball's brightest stars take its biggest stage as Miami hosts the Midsummer Classic this year. And you can make sure your hometown Niner well represented by going to brewers.com/vote and casting a ballot filled with Brewers up to 5 times per day and 35 times total. All-star game in Miami this year.
Here's Hunter Pence. Bases empty, 2 outs, and Pence on the ground to short. Arcia, and that's it. So the Giants score 3, and they now lead at 3-1, courtesy of a Buster Posey 2-run homer. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Beautiful night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Giants now have a lead 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Orlando Arcia will lead off, and we're going to spend a few minutes here in this 3rd inning talking with Todd Johnson. He's the director of amateur scouting. We got the draft coming up, and that's Todd's baby, and he has been hard at work preparing for this draft. And I guess let's talk a little bit about what your sense is on what the draft will be this year. Are there premier players? Is it a deep draft, pitching heavy, hitting heavy? What do you see?
Yeah, I think it's a draft where there's a lot of depth, where we should get pretty good significant talents at all 3 of our first day picks. And as always, we're going to do our best to get as much deep talent deep down the draft. We've always done a good job with that here. Guys like Mike Fiers and Chris Davis and others from the after the 5th round on kind of guys. So we'll certainly hope to get that, and I definitely see it as a good opportunity to add 3 top talents at those first 3 picks, and then hopefully add on some pieces after that as well.
What are the pick numbers for you guys this year?
9 is our first round pick, and then we have a compensation pick at 34, or a competitive balance lottery pick at 34, and then our 2nd round pick is at 46. Those will be our 3 first day picks. And then we pick again at 84 in the 3rd round.
Okay. Now you guys, all your scouts are in town. How many scouts are in town?
There's about 15 in. All of our national supervisors and our regional supervisors. 3 of our area scouts. Tim McIlvain, assistant scouting director. Ray Montgomery, Zach Nazian are in there as well. So
now they all stayed in their case for the guy they want you guys to pick, or how's that going there?
Yeah, we have really good discussions. It's a good collaboration amongst all of us, throwing ideas around and talking through different guys and strengths and weaknesses. you know, what people saw when they saw the players, you know, at different times. And, you know, then we work in a bunch of other information about those guys as well. The analytics department's involved.
How difficult is that, the analytics part of that, for you know, guys in the amateur ranks?
Yeah, certainly the statistical information that we're able to use in the on the analytics side requires more adjustments because it's not as even as it is on the pro side across different levels of college baseball. You know, high school stats, obviously competition levels can be, you know, pretty variable there. So, you know, we do, our analytics department does a great job of putting that all together and helping us organize the information.
There's a drive to right center. VR sends one to the wall, and he's thinking third. VR to third, belly flop. He's in there with a triple. Jonathan VR hits one over the head of Hunter Pence in right center. And with 2 outs, the Brewers get a 3-bagger. That's the first of the year for VR.
Now he's driving that ball to the opposite field. The Brewers would like to see a little bit more of this out of VR. You know, pitch down the middle. You know, Pence had a kind of a circuitous route to that baseball, kind of a banana route. Gets over his head, and once you saw it get over Pence's head, you figured VR is going to try and get into third, and does so easily. It's just so exciting when he gets a ball in the gap like that, the way he can run. It's incredible to watch him run.
Yeah, that's, I mean, we're always looking for premium athletes to put on the field, and certainly in the draft as well.
Yeah, you found one there in VR, and that deal with the Astros. Domingo Santana's up now, tying run. We're with 2 outs in the bottom of the third, visiting with Todd Johnson, who is heading up the draft that is coming up. And this is risky with 2 outs, but what are, if whatever you're willing to share, what are the most important types of analytics that you're using concerning amateur players at this point?
Yeah, I mean, analytics in the draft is really about organizing information. I mean, there's a huge amount of information about different players, so it's not as much as like different types, it's just as organizing it in a way that we can have all the information available and consistently applied across the different groups of players, and to lead us to the best decisions and to get the right conversation points, I guess is one way to put it, the right things to discuss, the right things to look at. So it's, you know, less about, you know, different types of statistical analysis or anything like that, and more about just presenting the information consistently across all the players and let that drive the decision process.
It's a bold way to look at an amateur draft. A number of teams are going that direction. That's your expertise, which is why Todd is heading up that department right now in that fashion and providing all that information for the guys who ultimately have to make the decision to make that pick. I'm assuming that is a group effort. Absolutely,
yeah. It's certainly a collaboration amongst, you know, the David and Matt and myself, and Ray Montgomery will be involved, and, you know, the scouts will certainly be involved from the perspective of you know, giving their input on the guys and on the players and driving that stuff. So
great. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
It's a big draft for you, man. We're
Absolutely.
looking forward to seeing the results and talking with you about these players as they come into the Brewers system once they are signed. Todd Johnson, Director of Amateur Scouting. Fourth inning, a 3-run third inning for San Francisco. Hey, Brewer fans, if you cannot catch the games on television, you can stream them live on your mobile device. It's the Fox Sports Go app. You can download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Game 3 of the Brewers-Giants series here at Miller Park. Joe Panik leads off for San Francisco. Jimmy Nelson, after the home run by Posey, came back to retire the next 2 hitters, a strikeout of Crawford, then a ground out of Pence. But a 3-run inning on 3 hits for the Giants. And there was a key challenge last inning on a stolen base from Nunez, who was originally called out. That would have changed the complexion of the inning a little bit.
Pretty easy call, though. I mean, he was safe.
Yeah, they did get the call right. Domingo Santana has homered for the Brewers. 3-1 as we start the 4th inning.
Hey, Todd Johnson made a good point about the analytics and how they have to wait a little bit, because the analytics and how they're judged, they're a lot different if you're judging a high school player as opposed to a Division I guy, or maybe Division III. It's all different. It's not like the pros, as he said. It's pretty on a level playing field in the professional game. Not as easy with the amateurs.
It is a huge collaboration of decision making, where you're those that have seen the players, the eye test, as they say, the numbers that they're putting up. You're looking at things like how hard they hit the ball, how do they handle velocity, higher velocity pitchers, body type. Are these guys going to be able to grow into a frame? And then some of the top picks, and you get into that upper round when there's a lot of money involved, as Nelson hits Joe Panik with a pitch and a man on to start this 4th inning. But you start getting into a lot of the psychological evaluations, and you're wondering if a guy is going to be able to hold up to the rigors of a minor league season. Talking mostly about high school players. So it's a really detailed, imperfect process.
And you would think that the physical scouts that are at the ballparks have much heavier a heavier weight, you would think, because the analytics are so imperfect, I guess. That's only the 2nd batter that Jimmy's hit this year, and he is always up amongst league leaders in hit batters.
Yeah, led the league last year, as a matter of fact, with that riding fastball. That's been part of his story this year. His command has been so much better. We saw Jimmy Nelson looking down at his hand a few times, just wondering if he's pitching with a blister problem tonight. If he is, he's pitching through it. And
either that, he was sweating. Jimmy likes to sweat. I mean, he's a sweater, coming from a sweater himself. A lot of times you look down there and you get that perspiration, and you don't really throw the baseball. You don't release it like you would prefer.
He's an interesting combination, though, because he does sweat a lot, but he prefers the heat. He likes the heat. He's a Florida native that played his college ball at Alabama. So he's most comfortable when it's good and warm, and you get a good sweat going. But yeah,
not many baseball players like the cold, that's for sure.
Nelson can work up a lather with the best of them. He's put it this way, he's got spitball access whenever he wants it without even trying.
Right.
1-2 pitch. Calixte pops it up. This is playable. Aguilar calling on Pena, who will gladly get out of his way. And there is out number 1. Jesus Aguilar has the Prince Fielder barrier, protection barrier around him at this point, after knocking Matt Garza out of his next start.
Yeah, once you knock one guy onto the disabled list, everybody else is going to get out of your way.
I think Prince Fielder put Gallardo on the disabled list one year, if I'm not mistaken. Steer clear. Whoa. Wow. That one got away from Nelson, and it drops. Tie block. Buzzes the tower.
Well, it's awfully difficult to get out of the way when you're squared around like this. Watch this baseball coming right at you.
Man,
get out of the way, and That's a scary feeling when you're squared around like that. You are vulnerable. And that pitch up and in.
And you're just waiting for the pain at that point. Just missed him. Block, a left-handed pitcher, but a right-handed batter. He wears that protective guard on his pitching elbow, the moneymaker. I'm sure he's got an extra beat in his heart right now. Well, he gets a bunt down. That's a good one. Aguilar's play is at first. And out number 2, give him credit. Ty Block stood in there well and got the bunt down on Nelson.
And stuck his nose right in there and able to drop the bunt down nicely. Good job, able to deaden the baseball. Get Panic over to second base. Well executed.
We have seen many a pitcher at the plate struggle to get a bunt down on Jimmy Nelson. His stuff is electric. And he's just wild enough to be a little scary as well. So 2 outs, top of the order, third time against Denard Span, who doubled into right center off Nelson in the first. Longtime Minnesota Twin, Denard Span. He's had a good run in the big leagues. Now has a decade in the major leagues. Came up with the Twins, drafted by the Twins, and made it to the big leagues with them. 3 years in Washington with the Nationals, and his second year as a Giant. Throw to second. Close play. Back is Panic. Talking about the draft and where guys get picked is always interesting when they make it to the big league. Span was a first rounder. I mean, he was highly thought of. He was the 20th pick overall. Swing and a miss. He got him. Jimmy Nelson strikes him out to end the inning. So Nelson with 5 punch outs. He is trailing 3-1. Brewers are coming to bat, trying to pick him up. Head to the bottom of the fourth. Brewers playing from behind here in this one. Scoring first, though. Santana homered in the first inning. And then the Giants got 3 in the third, including a 2-run home run by Buster Posey. Jesus Aguilar leads off for the Brew Crew. A strikeout victim in the first inning. Interesting young pitcher here, Ty Blach. Not an overpowering left-handed pitcher, but this guy knows how to pitch. And he gives up a base hit. Jesus Aguilar singles to get the fourth inning started. Now the ball is bobbled in left center, and the big man ends up at second base. That'll be a single and an error. And Aguilar in scoring position right off the bat here in the fourth.
Yeah, it looked like he turned it over. A little changeup that was down and away. Aguilar able to hook it out there into the gap. Calixte having a difficult time defensively. Had a throwing error in the first game of the series. And lets this one get under his glove. Single E7. Good start to the fourth.
That revolving door of left fielders for the Giants. They're still trying to find their everyday answer. I'll see if the Brewers can take advantage. Here's Travis Shaw, only lefty in the lineup tonight for Craig Counsell, and Blach deals a strike. Ty Blach, a fifth rounder by the Giants back in 2012. He went to Creighton. Good baseball program there in Omaha. Facing Travis Shaw, who's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He has 10. He and Santana were tied to start the day. Santana now with 11 homers on the year with that home run in the first. Eric Thames leads the Crew with 15. Thames not in the lineup here tonight. Ryan Braun still on the disabled list. Brewers are without some of the heavy hitters. That's a shot up the middle. Base hit. Gets through. Aguilar's going to try to score. Here he comes. No throw. Aguilar's in. And Travis Shaw, the Brewers' top run producer, adds to his number. It's 3-2 Giants.
Well, he hangs in there nicely against lefties. Yeah, Travis with a .250 batting average against left-handers, able to sneak that one into center field. So back-to-back hits for the Brewers. Yeah, that fastball stayed middle in, and Shaw able to square it up, knock it into center field. And so the error by Calixte in left turns into a run for Milwaukee.
Still nobody out. Back-to-back hits to start the inning. Here's Hernan Perez now. And that ball's ripped left field. And it's over the head of Calixte. Shaw to third. Perez to second. It's a double. And the Brewers are getting their hits now against Ty Blach. That's the third consecutive hit and the fourth in the last 5 batters.
Yeah, second time through the batting order. The Brewers are squaring them up much better. And another changeup that was up and away, and Perez able to hook it out there in the left. Second and third, nobody out. Well, that Hernan Perez, he's got a good swing. He leveled on that, able to line it over the head of Calixte, and the Brewers set up to take the lead.
Manny Pena now, second and third, nobody out. 3-2 game. Brewers within a run. And Pena fouling away the first pitch. Ty Blach rolled through the Giants minor league system. Proved to be a big winner in the minor leagues. Last year in AAA with the Giants, he won 14 games in 26 starts. Had a .343 earned run average. And I do understand, you know, there is a crowd that wins and losses don't mean as much, especially in a developmental phase. But I will say this, in a minor league setting, when you see that many decisions, 21 of them in 26 starts,
yeah, right
away that tells you that Blach is very efficient and pitching deeper into games than most minor leaguers are allowed, because typically these guys are on a strict pitch count of around 100. Very rarely are they allowed to go more than 100 pitches. So to come to a decision that often tells you he's commanding the game well.
Getting outs early in the count. Not allowing that pitch count to get away from, which he's been able to do pretty much in his first 8 starts in the big leagues. He's only had one bad start. That was at Cincinnati. Gave up 8 earned runs in 3 innings. Other than that, he's been really good.
He came up last year with the Giants, pitched in 4 games, got a couple of starts, was terrific. And they were in a pennant race as well. And he gets the nod this year. In the air, right center. Shaw does not run all that well, but that's deep. Pence has a great arm. He'll go to third, and Shaw is going to be in there without a throw. All tied at 3. Manny Pena with an RBI sacrifice fly.
Yeah, good job by Manny on a 2-2 pitch. He got a fastball down the middle. He didn't try and pull it. He's thinking, I want to get this pitch in the air somewhere. He's got jammed a little bit, but deep enough to score the run. So a productive out for Manny Pena.
Well, and a lot of times this is a spot where a hitter can strike. Pitcher takes a breath. He gets an out. Trying to get ahead of the next man up. Let's see if Broxton can make him pay. Go ahead run at second base. And he drops a strike in there. A little off-speed pitch. Broxton is struggling at the plate right now. He is a streaky hitter, that we have found out. He is in a 4-for-40 run at the plate. And hopefully there's a hot streak coming. I think Craig Counsell's counting on that with VR at the top of the order, and he's got Broxton back in there tonight.
Being a little over aggressive, swinging at some pitches out of the strike zone.
In the air to right. Routine for Pence. And there is out number 2.
It reminds you a lot of Jimmy Key back in the old days, where he doesn't throw very hard. He will come inside on you from time to time. We haven't seen a lot of it. You know, it turns it over. He'll four-seam it. You know, just change his speeds a little bit on the fastball. He's got a good changeup.
Now, when the Giants talk about Ty Blach, they talk about a guy who, going through the minor leagues, he pitches like a major leaguer would who was in the minor leagues, right? You know what I'm saying? He's taking the ball every 5th day. He's making all of his starts. He's in control of the game, handling the running game well, pitching to decision often, as we mentioned, giving up fewer hits than innings. Home run numbers are down. Walk numbers are down. Had about a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in the minor leagues. So all those numbers, they across the board, they tell you that this guy can carry that kind of success to the big leagues. He's actually been better in the big leagues than he was in AAA.
That's the thing. When you have a left-hander that's successful like that in the minor leagues, they're not going to be in the minor leagues very long.
That's true.
They're going to get some opportunities at the big league level. Left-handers are hard to come by.
Fly ball to right, and Pence will settle under it. That'll retire the side, but the Brewers get a pair and they tie this thing up at 3. Aguilar with a base hit. There was an error out there. Shaw drives in a run, and then Hernan Perez, a double down the line, sac fly by Pena. It all totals up to 2 runs and a 3-3 tie.
inning, and all fans in attendance for the Brewers matchup with the Pirates. On Monday, June 19th, we'll get a Eric Thames Revere the Beard t-shirt courtesy of BP Come On Back Club. Plus, because it's a Miller Highlight Monday, Terrace Reserve tickets are just $6. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
Is that why beard is misspelled?
Yeah, you know, he likes beer. He said he likes beer.
Right, he's the beer guy.
And he's got a beard. So they kind of had some fun with the word.
See.
You get it?
And Miller's the big sponsor.
And it's animated.
Okay. What was the show you like? Paw Paws?
I was told, actually, my granddaughter Madeline, who I want to say hello to, she's watching.
Oh, is she? Okay, go ahead.
You know, the Paw Patrol has dogs, not cats. You wanted me to get that right. Remember I said it was something with cats?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I got a dog that looks like a cat. It's hard to tell. I can understand your mistake.
Yeah, well.
Eduardo Nunez leads off for the Giants. Jimmy Nelson now in a 3-3 ball game. There's my dog, Chestnut. She doesn't look like that today. She went to the groomer.
Sheared like a sheep, huh?
Exactly. The summer cut.
Did she get into something, and that's why you had to?
She's gotten into a lot, and so we had to kind of start over with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little embarrassed though. She won't come out from under the couch. It's good fun. We had Bark at the Park night last night. It was a huge hit. Took a little extra cleanup after the game, but hey, it's a sacrifice you make.
You seem to be doing well with pet ownership.
Yeah, no, I've totally flipped. It's kind of like Twitter, you know. I avoided it for so long, and now I'm just embracing it.
You're in it.
I'm all in. It's all good.
Did you tweet your birthday treats today?
Nah, I don't. Wait, I did actually one of them. I wanted to thank our chef.
Yeah,
Seth. So thank you, buddy.
Some nice stuff.
He sent up some good treats today for us. He's the best. Little tapper back to the mound. Nelson jumps on it, fires to first. Can sometimes be an adventure with Jimmy, but no problem there.
You know, I am proud of you this year. You have embraced the birthday. I mean, usually you complain when we talk about it.
Yeah.
You just got to let it come to you.
Very uncomfortable with the birthdays.
But not this year. I think you're enjoying it a little bit.
I tell you, my little nephew, my little newborn nephew, Jackson, it changed the perspective of this day for me.
Right.
Excited about that. Brandon Belt with one away. This is an inning where Nelson and every pitcher, after your team gets you a couple of runs and gets you back in the game, you want to try to shut down the offense that next frame. Belt did damage last time up. Had an RBI double. He drove in Nunez. Put the Giants on the board. A 1-1 pitch. This is in. Nelson was trying to get a fastball on the inside corner to Belt last time up, but it just ran back away from Brandon Belt and then right into the center of his bat, and he ripped one down the line. Yeah, that's what he was looking for last time. Good pitch.
He does have quick hands on the inside corner. Not a lot of movement in this swing, and this is a well-located fastball for Jimmy.
Two the count, and a called strike three. Little backdoor breaking ball from Jimmy Nelson. He strikes out Belt. It's the 6th K for Nelson.
Not exactly where Pena wanted it. He wanted it down and in, but look where it ends up. Up and away, able to catch the outside corner. So bad it was good. Sometimes it works out that way. Good pitches get hit. sometimes bad pitches are outs.
2 outs in the inning. Here comes Posey now. He's on the first pitch again. Little flare, long run. VR out in the grass. VR makes the play. What a catch by Jonathan VR. To a sliding halt. That was beautiful. Boy, he covered some ground, didn't he? Jonathan VR makes it a 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Nelson. We go to the bottom of the 5th at Miller Park, all tied. Open trophy, and it is a spectacle to see. Bob Uecker, those are 2 legendary images right there. Bob Uecker and the trophy. Sophia and Krekashawn got their hands on. You got to go white glove treatment on this thing, awesome. Rock. I was going to say, this is one of the great trophies in all of sports, and we have Michael Trostel here, who is the official historian of the USGA and the man that gets to carry this trophy around. Great to have you with us. Heard a lot about you. Thank you for displaying this trophy. Welcome to Miller Park.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and a lot of excitement in this game so far, and we're looking forward to be here for the first time in the state of Wisconsin with the U.S. Open starting next week. So
great. Erin Hills is such a fantastic venue, and been a long time coming, and I'm so proud of that operation for bringing this U.S. Open here. I got to tell you, Rock, I mean, I've watched a number of U.S. Opens and seen the trophy held up, but now that it's right here, it's a presence.
Pretty cool,
right?
Isn't it?
It is very cool to have it right in front of you.
It goes back to in the beginning. How far back does it go?
Yeah, the championship actually goes back to 1895. So that year there were only 11 participants, and we had the winner was Horace Rollins, scores of 91 and 82. He won custody of this trophy for 1 year.
A chance, then.
That's right. At least for 9 holes, right? He won custody of this trophy for a year. He won a gold medal, and he won $150.
Oh, wow.
This year at Erin Hills, you still get the trophy, you still get the medal. This year it'll be a little north of $2 million.
I got a great place for this trophy. Hang on 1 second. Let me get the white gloves on here. Let me just move it right there.
Yeah,
nope, stay put, Rock.
See what he's trying to do. See? Yeah. So how do they come up with the course, for the U.S. Open?
Well, that's determined well in advance. Right now we're already out through 2026, and with Erin Hills, it opened in 2006, and it's just a great piece of property in Erin, Wisconsin. And I think that what we want to do is bring the U.S. Open to the best courses in the country. Right. We haven't been in the Midwest since 2003, so we're overdue to get back here, and really overdue to get to Wisconsin. It's our 117th U.S. Open, and the first time we've been in this great state, and so many great sports fans here. Packers fans, Bucks fans, of course, Brewers fans here. So we're thrilled to be bringing the U.S. Open Championship to Wisconsin.
Well, and it's going to be on Fox, of course. This will be the 3rd U.S. Open that Fox has the coverage. You can watch it on FS1 as well and Fox Sports Go. And it is just it's a great championship. It ends on Father's Day. There's always something special about the Father's Day finish in the U.S. Open. You're the historian, the official USGA historian. So as you approach this and you're starting to think about Erin Hills and where it might fall, its place in this championship run, are there any comps that you can think of for Erin Hills as a golf course, a layout for other U.S. Open venues?
Well, you know, we're kind of calling Erin Hills an American original. You know,
nice.
It's a course right in the heartland here, and you know, a lot of people ask, you know, what you compare it to, and you know, a course like Oakmont has hosted the U.S. Open 9 times. Marion's hosted it a bunch. But you know, what we're really excited about Erin Hills, it's going to play firm and fast. You know, it's got some fescue. It's got some really closely mown areas around the greens, which I think will really challenge the players. You know, every course hosts the U.S. Open for the first time at some point, and this just happens to be Erin Hills, and you can see some of the views right here. Truly spectacular. You know, you're looking at one of the just 5 trees in the property right there. It is absolutely stunning. And the fairways are a little wider than an average U.S. Open course. Sometimes in some places double the width. But that being said, if you stray off the fairways, you're going to have some issues.
Right.
The rough is tough. I was there on Monday during sectional qualifying day. Adam Scott and his caddy Stevie Williams were looking for a ball in the fescue in 18. They couldn't find it. So you know, they'll have a better chance of the volunteers out there you know, next Thursday through Sunday, but it's still going to be a pretty good challenge.
Well, it's a fascinating story about Erin Hills. I know you've been brushing up on that, learning about the evolution of that golf course as VR rolls out. But Bob Lang, a local Wisconsin philanthropist who found the property, was his property, and he just wanted to build a golf course that was for his employees. And in the golf business, we talk about moving dirt, and you hardly had to move any at Erin Hills because of the way it fits through the land. And Bob's vision, along with as the USGA came in, when did you feel like, or when did you know in your group that this could be, Erin Hills could be a USGA site?
You know, when you ask Mike Davis about that, our executive director, he says his first visit to Erin Hills was before the course was even laid out at all. It was just a plot of land. It was still the farm that it was. And they said, we want to put a golf course here. And it takes a certain individual like Bob Lang and like the designers of the course,
right,
Mike Hertz and Dana Fry and Ron Whitten, to have that vision. And they did. And I think Mike saw that too and just said, boy, this is an unbelievable plot of land. This could make for a great golf course. So we awarded the U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links and the U.S. Amateur to Erin Hills right away, and shortly thereafter in 2010 awarded the U.S. Open to it. So you know, we're really excited to be here. And you know, in the past couple of days, Steve Stricker, a Madison resident, just qualified for the U.S. Open at 50 years old. He'll be the 2nd oldest player in the field. That's part of the beauty of the Open, right? You have teenagers that play it. You have, you know, you look at some of the names in the trophy. You have a 19-year-old that won it. You have people in their early 20s. You have Hale Irwin who won when he was 45. So maybe Stricker can do it this year and make all of Wisconsin really happy.
Yeah, what kind of a golfer is best suited for Erin Hills? A big hitter or maybe a target guy, or what are you thinking?
Well, Erin Hills has a lot of distance, 7,700 yards. But that being said, I think the biggest factor out there is going to be the wind. And you don't really know right now how it's going to blow, so you need to be a really precise ball striker, someone who can, you know, control the flight of their ball, and you're going to need to have some great creativity and imagination around the greens. You know, someone like a Jordan Spieth, who's actually, his ball striking has been very, very good, at least his iron game. And I think he could fare very well at a place like Erin Hills.
I could ask you a million questions, but I want to know, there's a dent right here in this trophy. Do you know where that came from?
I thought you did that, Brian, when I handed you the trophy.
That scared me when I first saw it.
No, you know, the great thing about this trophy, the trophy goes back to 1895, lost in a fire. So this version of the trophy that the viewers are looking at right now started in 1946. And it's been passed from champion to champion. This trophy has been in Arnold Palmer's hands and Jack Nicklaus's hands, up through Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth and Dustin Johnson. So it's seen a lot. You know, I'm not sure it's been to the bottom of a pool like the Stanley Cup, but you know, it's certainly seen its fair share of you know, maybe beer in there, or Justin Rose, who won in 2013. He and his kids ate ice cream out of it, and who knows what stories we're not hearing about that. So that dent is just one of the casualties, but you know, we think it kind of adds some charm to it.
For sure, it does. And I mean, the last name on there is Dustin Johnson, of course, the defending champion 2016, and Santana with a base hit. I'm really glad he got a hit there, because I am fascinated by this conversation and this trophy and what it represents. Rock had some really good questions while we were commercial, but and I'm with him, like, Does the player keep the trophy the whole year, a replica, or what happens with this trophy after the player wins it?
So the trophy, the champion keeps it for about 11 months, and they give it back to us, and we try and polish it up a little bit and get it ready for Aaron Hills. So the last player actually to successfully defend his title and get to keep the trophy was Curtis Strange back in 1988 and 89. So it's been almost 30 years. So Dustin, by the numbers, has its work cut out for him, but the way that he's hit the ball earlier this year. I know he missed the cut at Memorial, but man, he's been playing some really, really good golf, and you'd like to think he has a pretty good chance at Aaron Hills.
Has there ever been a guy that just didn't want to give it up? You guys had to go chase him down?
It's a good question. We did have an issue with customs in China when Rory McIlroy won.
Oh, okay.
We got a call saying they were detaining the trophy. But aside from that, no, I think people very much feel that they don't want to give it up. Curtis said in 1990 when he went back, he wanted a winner for a third straight time. You hear stories of guys taking it into bed with them that they really just don't want to give it up because you see the names in the trophy, right? Bob Jones and Ben Hogan. We talked about Palmer and Nicklaus and so many others. So much great history is embodied in this championship and in this trophy.
Are they allowed to make a replica if they choose? I mean, and keep it at home, or?
They are. They can make a 90% replica, so it'd just be a little shorter than this that they can keep either at their home or in their home club.
What is this made of?
Sterling silver.
It's a sterling silver. The top comes off and then it looks like you probably have room for maybe, I don't know, 16, 18 more winners, right? This is an open window here. What happens then? Do you add a new
I think we'll do another base. So you can see right
base
here, it ends in 1964. So the original trophy was only up to here.
Right.
So it's about 18 inches. We added this base on in 1965. And you're right, in about...
That's a base hit. Good layout, Michael. Down into the corner it goes. Santana's around third. He's going to try to score. Throw comes in, cut off. And Santana is in. And the Brewers take a 4-3 lead. Jesus Aguilar shoots one just inside the bag at first, and it goes all the way to the wall.
Well, change up for a base hit. His last time out, this is a fastball away, just drives it right inside that first baseline. Well, and Santana with good speed, able to score all the way from first base. So some two-out thunder for the Brewers. 2 outs, nobody on. Back-to-back base hits. And the Brewers take the lead.
4-3 Milwaukee. A 2-out rally here for the Brewers as we sit here with the U.S. Open trophy. I'm a touch nervous about having the trophy right here in case of a foul ball, but hey, that'd be a great story in 50 years. What's this dent for?
That's right.
That was from a Travis Shaw foul ball then. Travis Shaw at the plate. We are visiting with Michael Trostel, who is the official historian of the USGA, talking golf. We've got the U.S. Open trophy here, which is a lot more than I imagined it being. Like I said, you see these trophies, their players hold them up, they kiss them, they do all these things, and when you're in its presence, it's pretty special. Fly ball to left. We wish you the best of luck. It's going to be a great championship.
Brian, thanks so much for having me. We really appreciate it, and hopefully people can come out to Aaron Hills, watch it on Fox. It should be a fantastic week out at Aaron Hills.
Thanks for bringing it up here, man.
Thanks, Brian.
We got to get some pictures with this, Rock.
Coming up.
And we say hello to our good buddy Sarah Hirschland with the USGA. She's on her way.
we head to the 6th here at Miller Park. Our minor league report. We have some all-stars in the Southern League All-Star Game. 5 from the Biloxi Shuckers are going. Mauricio Dubon, who is the number 9 prospect for the Brewers. Infielder, he was acquired in the Red Sox trade. First baseman Dustin Demuth, a pair of right-handed starters in Ventura and Wilkerson, and their closer as well, Matt Ramsey, who has gone a perfect 14 for 14 in save opportunities. So congratulations to the 5 Shuckers who are headed to the All-Star Game.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good to see those guys who are having success down there being rewarded for their great work. Minor league system is rolling right now. Jimmy Nelson now pitching with a lead, and a bouncing ball to Brandon Crawford. There's out number 1. Crawford rolls to second. That was a really fascinating conversation we had. You know, we usually have baseball guys up here. We talk baseball things, and that's always good. But to have a golf guy like Michael,
I found that interesting, and I don't know anything about golf. I watch it on television, but
you didn't. You had a question lined up for me. You didn't ask him though.
he was very gracious in answering some of my silly questions. So.
We were talking before the game, and Rock asked me what the record for the most tees used.
You would think that a historian would know that.
Yeah, I mean,
I go through a few.
He didn't have an answer for that,
no.
Michael. But what's your personal record, Rock?
37. And I didn't realize at the time that you couldn't tee it up in the fairway. So.
37. He was 37 tees in a row and 9 holes of golf, did Rock once. He teed up every shot but his putts.
Yeah.
Golf's a great game. And the U.S. Open is going to be a huge hit here in Wisconsin. That's a base hit by Pence. A single to right with 1 out. I'm thrilled for the folks at Erin Hills. So think about this. You know, you come to Milwaukee. I moved here in 07. I'd come from the Golf Channel. I'd worked at the Golf Channel, and you go around the country seeing all this great golf. I had no idea the golf was so special here in Wisconsin. And now you've got venues like Erin Hills and, of course, Whistling Straits that has hosted PGA Championships and Ryder Cups. And you're right in like the epicenter of this great area of championship golf. And man, it's just a special thing to have this kind of tournament here right in our own backyard at Erin Hills. And what a fantastic venue to see that golf course come through what it has, like from the beginning, the early stages, as Michael was talking about, kind of farmland, and how they shaped that golf course into what it is today. I mean, it's one thing to build a golf course. It's another thing to have a golf course that's good enough to actually host an Open.
Right.
That's just a rare thing to have happen.
And we're going to be back from the road trip in time to see some of that action.
Yeah. We get back from St. Louis. The final game in St. Louis is Thursday. That'll be the opening round of the U.S. Open. And then you can do a U.S. Open Brewers combo Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you want.
You got tickets?
I might have a.
You hooking us up?
I did say a few hellos at the end of that last segment. Maybe we can get a little hook up there. You know, if they're listening. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a bouncer foul. Let's check in with Sophia. She's got more on the U.S. Open trophy. It was on display for the players today, was it not, Sophia?
Yeah, a number of players were very interested in taking pictures, and they're fans of golf just like all of us. And Zach Davies, Oliver Drake, and Jacob Barnes will actually be taking a very early trip Friday morning when we get in from St. Louis. They're going to try to check out a few rounds over at Erin Hills. They're avid golfers. They were very excited. Davies in particular is a big golf fan. So maybe we'll have to hitch a ride with them to make our way over to the Erin Hills.
Get on that shuttle bus. I know Corey Knable is going to make an appearance as well. These guys are into it, and they should be. Jimmy Nelson pitching with a lead, 4-3. Brewers have out-hit the Giants 7-6 as we play here in the 6th inning. Joe Panik at the plate. Had a 1-out single by Pence. Nelson looking for a double play ball here. And Panik fouls it away. Panik doubled in the 2nd inning. He's been on twice. He's doubled and walked. Brewers got 2 in the 4th to tie it. scored in the 5th to take the lead on a 2-out RBI double by Jesus Aguilar. 4-3 Milwaukee here in the 6th. And right between the legs of Nelson, and no throw anywhere. That's one of those in between situations for Nelson. Rog, if he gloves it cleanly, might be able to start a double play. If it goes through cleanly, he might have a double play.
Right, I know, but it's all instincts. I mean, no pitcher is going to let this one go. Try and get down there. It would have probably been at least an out at second base with the way Arce was right over the bag. That's a pretty good pitch right there. Two-seamer going down and away. Jimmy knocks it down but can't get anybody. Does the right thing, holds on to it.
So 2 on with 1 out. Back-to-back singles for the Giants. And here is Orlando Calixte. It's a good spot in the order for Nelson. It's going to force Bochy's hand a little bit here. This is a key at bat in this inning for Nelson. He's got the 8th place hitter up. The pitcher Ty Block is on deck. It would be interesting to see if Bochy lets him hit if they're down a run.
Block not a bad hitting pitcher though. I mean, he swings it pretty well. We saw him drop down a nice bunt his last time up.
Well, he's got a plan A and a plan B, you can bet. All depends on what Calixte does here.
Those bullpen's busy.
Ground ball to short. Arcia got to hustle it up to second. Out there, throw to first, and it's in time.
That's a nice stretch by Aguilar right there. I think Cruz Bochy wants to take a look at it.
Calixte, the base runner, is pointing that Aguilar's foot was off the bag. Boy, this was in and out of the glove of Arcia in a hurry.
That's a nice shovel pass over there, and Aguilar with a big stretch. Is his foot on the bag? It's going to be close.
That's tough to tell, and the Giants will not challenge this one, so that's a double play to end the inning. And the Brewers still lead it 4-3. Beautifully turned double play, and the big stretch by the big man at first base.
Double play. They lead it 4-3 here in the 6th. This season, the Brewers and Meyer want to honor the real heroes of our community. So each month, one outstanding individual will be recognized as the Brewers Community Achiever presented by Meyer. Achievers will receive 4 Brewers tickets, on-field acknowledgement, and the opportunity to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. So if you have someone you'd like to nominate, you can visit brewers.com/community or pick up a nomination form here at Miller Park.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Brewers lead it 4-3 over the Giants. And Hernan Perez, a fly ball to right. It's been a familiar occurrence in this game. The fly balls to right for the Brewers against the lefty block. And Manny Pena will step in now. Well, Brewers trying to take a lead in the series with 1 to play tomorrow. Trying to give themselves an opportunity to win a series here at home. Pena hits it hard to right field, slicing. It is down, fair. And it bounces out of here for a ground rule double just inside the line. And Manny Pena on the first pitch delivers a double. Well, that was close.
That's just a good piece of hitting on a pitch away, and he goes right with it. And just does tuck it inside that right field line. You can see the ball down in the corner. Well, maybe by a foot.
Yeah, you can see the splash down. So a ground rule double puts Pena at second base with 1 out. And Keon Broxton now, who had a big cut. Broxton is 0 for 2. Grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Then he flew out to right to end the 4th inning. This is a hitter that needs something good to happen. Trying to fight his way out of a long slump at the plate. Remember, he started the season off to a very slow start. He's currently 4 for his last 41. But Broxton, after that slow start to begin the year, got hot and had a nice little run for the Brewers. Turned his game around last year when he changed his swing. He's out in front of that one.
Yeah, maybe starting that bat a little bit too soon. I mean, when he was hot, he was driving the ball in the right center. A lot of power to the opposite field. There's a changeup down and away. Good pitch by Block. And Keon out in front of it.
Broxton started the year, his first 14 games, hit 119. He had just 5 hits in his first 14 games. And then that's when he caught fire. So over his next 28 games, he hit 337. Had 4 of his 6 home runs in that window. Drove in 12 runs of the 16 that he has on the board. And now he's back in a slump once again. No hitter wants to be a streaky hitter at the plate.
A lot of young hitters are, although Broxton is really not that young.
New to the big leagues. Little half swing. It's a foul tip, actually, and that'll be a strikeout. And Broxton is gone. Second out of the inning.
Hey, with MLB.TV Premium, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Two gone with Pena still at second base. Here is Orlando Arcia. One thing about Block, you know, he doesn't have that big overpowering fastball, but he will certainly pitch inside. And he's got those right-handed hitters a little tied up.
That's a good combination, right? Change up away, fastball in.
At his best game as a big leaguer, his last start against the Phillies. Went the distance, a shutout. 112 pitches to go 9 innings in a 10-0 San Francisco win against the Phillies last Friday.
A little different tonight. 94 pitches as we work here in the 6th.
Block has 5 straight starts of at least 7 innings. And 6 of his 8 coming in. That's a fly ball to right. It's slicing. Pence will give it a look. And he will run out of room. Good effort there by Pence, crashing up against that railing. He plays one way, Hunter Pence. All out all the time.
About as unorthodox a player as there is, but it works for him. He's had a nice career.
I don't think any player in baseball, that's an error on the fan, by the way. I don't think any player in baseball takes batting practice like Hunter Pence. What is it, like 3 rounds for every group?
Yeah.
For every player, 3 rounds,
3, 4.
sometimes 4.
Yeah.
Every swing he takes in BP is as hard as he can swing. It's 100% effort and intensity in batting practice. I was standing behind the cage today with Aaron Hill, who now plays for the Giants, and he was saying, watch this. And I've covered Hunter Pence all these years. I never really noticed his batting practice, but he'll work on things. He'll try to go the other way and he'll do all that, but he swings so hard.
Game speed.
It's game speed all the time.
Right. Not many do it. Not many can do it throughout the entire season.
Missed inside with a fastball.
I mean, you think about how many swings these guys take on a daily basis. Let's assume that, you know, BP, there's no rain. They're taking BP on the field. These guys show up at the ballpark maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They get in the cage. They hit soft toss off the tee. About 100 swings a day.
2-2 is pulled down the line. Fair ball. Into the corner it goes. Pena will score. And Arcia's in with an RBI double. And the 2-out hitting for the Brewers has been impressive tonight. 5-3 Milwaukee. They lead it by 2 here in the 6th.
And you see Arcia do something he doesn't do a whole lot of. Pull the ball down the line. I mean, how many times have we seen him do that? I mean, he's always looking to go to the opposite field. There's that fastball in you were talking about earlier. He's able to pull the hands in and tuck it inside that third baseline. Driving in Manny Pena for our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Another 2-out base hit.
Brewers got a 2-out double by Aguilar in the 5th. Back-to-back innings, delivering with 2 outs. Arcia, a right field hitter, got one inside and he turned on it.
You like to see that. I mean, it's odd to say that for a young hitter, because other times when they come up, they're looking to pull the ball, but Arcia has been so diligent in going to the opposite field, taking a pitch like that in on him and ripping it down the line.
Nick Franklin's going to pinch hit for Jimmy Nelson. He closed the book on Nelson with 6 innings, 3 runs. In line for the win. He left his last start with a chance to win as well. Took a no decision in that one against the Dodgers. So Franklin, the switch hitter. Franklin still looking for his first hit as a right-handed batter this season. He is 0 for 14. Be a good spot for one right here. Brewers lead by 2. Had an early lead on a Santana homer in the 1st. 1-0. Giants scored 3 in the 3rd. But the Brewers have answered back. They've scored in each of the last 3 innings. And in the last 2 innings, single tallies with 2 outs. And there's Jared Hughes. He'll be next on the mound for the Brewers. Bochy sticking with Ty Block here with 2 away. Does have activity in the bullpen. Block's spot in the batting order is due to lead off.
Yeah, that's why Bruce Bochy probably wants to get him through this inning. Save a position player.
George Contos is ready in the pen. And that's all well and good if you're not giving up 2 out run producing hits. That's why those are backbreakers at this point of a game. Franklin fouls it back. 2-2 the count.
Contributions from everybody. That's what this Brewers offense has been. Aguilar with a big day. Arcia with the big double.
Santana with 2 hits and a homer.
Up and down that batting order, right? That's what it takes.
Pulled on the ground to Crawford. And that will retire the side. Block gets out of it, but Orlando Arcia delivers with an RBI double with 2 outs. Right down the line it goes. And the Brewers add to their lead, now 5-3 Milwaukee.
With a 2-run lead and tonight's time of the game winner, Mardi Gras in Woodland. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. You know where Woodland is?
Where's Woodland, Rock?
I'm sorry I asked. Just down the road from Iron Ridge in Dodge County.
Oh, sure. Everybody knows that.
That's our Rand McNally stats man to your left, Mike Faulkner.
We didn't let Mike near the U.S. Open trophy. We thought it's too easily mishandled.
He's in the background of our picture, though.
I can't wait to see that. Jared Hughes on the mound for the Brewers as we go to the 7th. And Hughes will face Kelby Tomlinson, who will pinch hit for the pitcher Block, who exits with 6 innings, 9 hits and 5 earned runs for Ty Block.
And Jared Hughes last pitched on Monday against these Giants and had a 3-up, 3-down inning, struck out the side. You know, you and I have been working together, what, 11 years now?
That's right.
And with that U.S. Open, I've never seen you more excited.
I didn't think it was really surprising me.
I know.
Because I've been around, you know, been around golf. I've been around the Wanamaker Trophy, and which is really cool too. But I don't know, when he put it down right in front of us, and you're looking at the the engraving.
Yeah, you were in awe.
I was. I
was watching you.
I was amazing. Like, yeah. There was a really cool thing in there. Like one year when in the early '90s, when you can see the engraving changes from a one style to another, and so that's when they made it uniform.
Right.
That the engraver now does it that way every year, so that's why. But up until then, the player was responsible for the engraving, so they're all a little bit different. There's so many stories in the trophy itself. All the little dings and nicks. Tomlinson bounces one to second base. And there is out number 1.
They spend Father's Day with the crew on Sunday, June 18th. The Brewers are home against the Padres, and the first 20,000 fans in attendance will get a Brewers golf umbrella courtesy of Palermo's Frozen Pizza. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
I could map out your entire day for you that Sunday. Brewers game, and then you get home for the last stretch of the U.S. Open, and then you get the grill going.
And if it rains, you have a golf umbrella.
That's right. You got it all covered. First ball swinging, span, and a bouncing ball to second base. There is out number 2. And the ground ball pitcher, Jared Hughes, with 2 ground ball outs here in the 7th inning. I thought Jared Hughes might have found something in his last outing. A 3-up, 3-down inning where he struck out the side. He's been a struggling pitcher trying to find his place with that elevating strike zone in Major League Baseball, and he was really good his last time out.
And he looked like he was on a mission. He was pitching with a purpose and throwing a lot of high fastballs very effectively.
And on the first pitch, Nunez bounces out. Now that's an inning. Jared Hughes, 7 pitches, 3 up, 3 down, 3 ground ball outs. Time now for our game summary. Stretch time at Miller Park. Our game reset courtesy of Toyota. And the Brewers are delivering when it counts. Getting some 2-out hits. That was a sac fly that put the Brewers back on top. Aguilar with a double down the right field line, scoring Santana. That was a 2-out rally with back-to-back hits. And then Arcia pulls one down the left field line, scoring Manny Pena, and a run in the 6th inning. So a 2-out RBI in the 5th, 2-out RBI in the 6th. Brewers lead 5-3 as we go to the Milwaukee 7th. George Contos is on the pitch for the Giants.
And 26th appearance for Contos. He's been with the Giants for a while now. Earned run average under 4. Averaging almost a strikeout per innings pitched. The 4 home runs he has allowed have come recently over his last 14 appearances. It's interesting with Contos. Left-handers have not had as much success against him as right-handers.
Jonathan VR at the plate. Back in the leadoff spot tonight. He's delivered with a triple. And he sends that one deep into right field, way back. Goodbye, Jonathan VR with a homer. Number 6 for VR.
Well, you like to see that. That's 2 hits for VR tonight. Triple and a homer.
First home run for VR since May 14th. Been a long time coming. Craig Counsell puts him in the leadoff spot, and he rewards his manager.
Yeah, look at that pitch right down the middle of the plate, and VR gives it a ride way back and right. Powerball home run count for Jonathan VR, number 6.
Here's Santana now. 2 for 4 tonight, VR. Well, you got to give credit to the manager, Craig Counsell, for playing the cards tonight. Said he had a feeling about VR. He needs to, you know, he hasn't hit his way out of the bottom of the order, but Counsell needs him to be the leadoff hitter. These are the manager's words. We need him to be our leadoff hitter. And so he says, I'm going to put him in there. Let's see if we can get him a little spark of confidence that he's got his spot back. And has he ever delivered?
And he might see him in that leadoff spot again tomorrow. But Craig Counsell figuring with the left-hander on the mound with the Giants. He wanted to sit Sogard. Best option is VR.
Santana strikes out for the first out of the inning. And here comes Jesus Aguilar.
Another guy that's been pretty productive as of late.
Aguilar with 2 hits tonight. Drove in a run with that double in the 5th inning.
Starting in back-to-back games, he's collected 4 hits.
Pretty good sample size too for Aguilar when he's been in the lineup a lot here recently as Braun has gone on the disabled list. Aguilar now in his last 63 at bats has 21 hits. That's 21 hits in 23 games that he's been in the lineup.
And goes line to line. I mean, he'll pull one down the left field line. We've seen him hit one down the right field line. This has a good coverage of home plate. A good slider from Contos there.
Back-to-back strikeouts for him. And 2 gone in this Brewers 7th for Travis Shaw. Shaw had a good moment in the 4th. Stepped up there with a man on and had a base hit. Aguilar was at second to start the inning on a single and an error, and then Shaw drove him in quickly. Made it a 1-run game. The Brewers were down a run at that time. Scored 2 in that 4th inning to tie it at 3. And single runs each of the last 3 innings. Those tack-on runs Darnell Coles was talking to me about today. Feeling like that's the next step for this offense. They've been scoring a lot of runs early in games, specifically in the 1st inning, which is all good. Great. But keep that intensity and preparation of the at-bats, the focus for at-bats as relievers come in.
Yeah, Brewers used a 4-run 2nd inning to win last night's game.
You don't want to be a team that scores early and tries to hang on. I mean, that is how you end up losing heartbreaking affairs if you're not adding runs on. Puts a lot of pressure on your bullpen as well. But the kind of game we're seeing tonight is about how every hitting coach and manager wants to draw it up. As Shaw draws a 2-out walk.
Brewers were 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. All 5 of those at bats came in the 2nd and 3rd inning. Nothing after that 3rd inning, but Every now and again, you got to tip your hat to the opposing pitching staff. They locked down last night. The Giants did.
Hernan Perez. The Brewers have two out RBI hits in this game, both of them doubles. Aguilar and Arcia.
He's got a good slider, Contos. Made a mistake with a slider to VR. He hit it out of the ballpark. He hadn't made a mistake since. A lot of sliders.
Perez doubled to left in the 4th inning. Rolls over one to third, and Nunez makes the play to end the inning. Contos gives up a leadoff home run. Jonathan VR is back. Put him in the leadoff spot. A triple in the 3rd, a long ball in the 7th. 6-3 Milwaukee. We go to the 8th at Miller Park.
Showstopper in baseball earlier tonight. The Blue Jays playing the Athletics, finishing up their series. Justin Smoke had a pair of home runs. He now has 5 home runs in his last 6 games. First one, a solo home run in the 2nd inning. This game went to the 10th. Josh Donaldson set him up with a 2-run homer, and he followed it up with his 2nd home run of the day. The Blue Jays would go on to win that game 7-5, and he has 17 home runs now in the season and 42 RBIs, leading American League first baseman.
Justin Smoke. From the Rangers to the Mariners, and a bit of a late bloomer, right? He had high expectations as a young player, a prospect. At one time was an untouchable for the Rangers, and finally figuring it out on the big stage. He's having a good year.
Sometimes it takes some longer than others, but ultimately able to do it. Well, Jacob Barnes has had a couple of days off. He last pitched on Sunday. Appearance number 31 for him. A lot of work for Barnes. Against the Dodgers, a scoreless inning in the 3rd. He has only given up 1 earned run in his last 11 appearances.
He's had a couple of days off, so Counsell has it lined up the way he wants it. If this score should stay as is, figure Barnes here in the 8th. He'd have the option of using Knebel to close it in the 9th.
That's some pretty good work right there.
Boy, is it ever. Look at the strikeouts. Only the 2 walks. Wicked slider by Jacob Barnes. And he's got a big swing and a miss from Belt. There's that breaking ball. Could that be a 93-mile-an-hour cutter?
Yeah, that's a cutter right there. And, you know, down and in. Yeah, Belt way over the top, completely fooled on that pitch.
And you can understand why.
2 days off. See what that does for you?
Oh, man. Another one down there, and Belt chases it again. There aren't many cut fastballs at that velocity. 92 miles an hour with that one, and a strikeout for Jacob Barnes.
Well, it's the only pitch that he threw that wasn't down in the dirt, down and in. I mean, the first pitch able to get the strike on the outside corner, then a couple of cutters, and you know, Brandon Belt looked bad in that at bat.
What a weapon to have at your disposal. Staying down there, 98 with that fastball. Posey homered in the third. His first home run that wasn't a solo shot this year. Hit a 2-run blast in the third inning. 3-run inning for the Giants. The only blemish on Jimmy Nelson's line tonight. Jimmy went 6 innings with 7 hits and 3 runs.
That's a good job by Jimmy. Only had that 3-run inning. Yeah, the Posey 2-run homer. Other than that, good work again for Nelson.
Brewers starters have been so good lately that their ERA is actually going to go up with that good outing by Nelson. Looked like he was, you know, looking at his fingers after a few pitches. I don't know if there were blister issues or not, but whatever it was, he rallied, and maybe not his ace stuff, but Nelson was able to get through the Giants lineup after the Brewers tied it. Had a 3-up 3-down inning and then stranded a runner in the 6th. Got a key double play as Posey draws the walk. 1-out walk for Barnes. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Positive Coaching Alliance and its mission to develop better athletes and better people by working to provide all youth and high school athletes a positive, character-building sports experience. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn more. Here's Brandon Crawford now with a man on. Oh for 3 today is Crawford. Longtime Giants fan. He was a Giants fan as a kid growing up in the Bay Area. There's actually a pretty famous picture now of him as a 5-year-old that ended up in the newspaper in San Francisco when there was discussion that if the Giants didn't get a new ballpark, they were going to leave San Francisco. They played in Candlestick Park, shared that facility with the 49ers, and as that was going to a vote, it was talk that the Giants might leave the Bay Area. It's hard to even imagine that right now. But that was the thought. And he had a little sign, something to the effect of keep the Giants. And Crawford and his family were huge fans. And who could have known he'd be playing in the new ballpark he was dreaming about as a little kid.
And has done very well. That's a terrific ballpark in San Francisco. Nobody plays in Candlestick now.
Nope. That ballpark in San Francisco changed the arc of that franchise. Barry Bonds helped and his home run chase.
You think?
But it's a special place.
What they have? How many straight sellouts did they have? It was an enormous amount.
I don't even. It was up there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember what it ended up as. It was a big number though. Swing and a miss. Barnes strikes out Crawford.
That is a killer cut fastball right now. Boy, throwing it hard. He's got good late movement on it. The pitches that he missed with Posey at the plate were all 4-seam fastballs. Couldn't find the plate. There's that cutter, and Belt over the top of it at 91.
A killer cutter. I like that. It applies. 2 outs. Hunter Pence at the plate. Ooh, power on power right there.
He just has some crispness to his pitches tonight. Not that he hasn't before, but it's amazing what you can do with a couple of days off when you're working out of that bullpen. Brewers have been in so many tight games that they've had to use the back end of the bullpen quite a bit.
Called a ball. Looked like a strike.
It was a strike. Yep.
Barnes and Knebel have pitched in more games than any other National Leaguers. Arcia flips it to VR. 31st appearance of the year for Barnes is a success. Strikes out 2, a scoreless 8th inning.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Back here at Miller Park, bottom of the 8th we go. The Brewers' a 6-3 lead. It's been a very well-rounded game for Milwaukee, Davey. A lot of good things going on. Good pitching, timely hitting. Love the 2-out base hits, too, for those extra runs not too long ago.
Well, that's right, and that's what's been happening this whole game. You know, it's a nice workmanship-type job by Jimmy Nelson. You know, he was grinding it out, did some nice things, and then the defense was playing well. You know, it's been a well-rounded ball game.
We'll also talk about Jonathan VR, top of the order. Brewers Live, presented by Ascension, is on the way. We'll break down Nelson's game and also hear from Craig Counsell and the crew coming up in just a bit, BA.
All right, thanks, Craig and Davey. Affectionately known as Cravey around here. Not to be confused with Tyler Cravey. 6-3 Brewers. Pena leads off for Milwaukee. Brewer catcher's done a nice job tonight navigating the Brewers through this one. Jimmy Nelson was good through 6, 3 earned runs allowed. Jared Hughes retired the side in order with 3 ground ball outs, and then Jacob Barnes with a couple of strikeouts. Had electric stuff again tonight. Just a lot to recommend during tonight's game. I mean, up and down the lineup. The only Brewer position player without a hit is Keon Broxton, who's 0 for 3. Everybody else has at least a safety tonight as Pena strikes out. And the first out of the inning. Check our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and we dive into Jonathan VR, who roped a triple over the head of Pence and into the gap. Hey, came in the 3rd inning.
Hey, love to see VR going to the opposite field. How about this catch to end an inning? Heck of a job going into short right field, and a bomb off of George Contos on a slider down the middle, giving the Brewers a 3-run lead as we head here, or work here in the bottom of the 8th.
There's a shot. Oh, what a pickup by Nunez. And he throws Broxton out. Man, this guy has made some plays in this series. Takes an extra base hit away from Keon Broxton.
And Broxton can't buy a hit right now. And nothing more frustrating when you're in the middle of a period where you're really not getting any hits. And that makes a play like that. We've seen a number of plays from Nunez like that first 3 games of this series. He's got good soft hands.
You know, if the Giants don't end up turning it around and getting themselves back into a position to contend, and they're a long shot right now, but you got to figure Eduardo Nunez is going to be a guy that a lot of teams are asking about.
Yeah.
Gives you a bat, gives you great defense. Figure Johnny Cueto might be on that list as well.
Can't give anything by him at third base. Aguilar hit one literally through him yesterday, but wasn't his fault.
No balls and a strike on Arcia. 0-2 the count. Second inning for Contos, giving up the VR homer in the 7th. Brewers stretch the lead to 3. 6-3 Milwaukee on 10 hits right now. And a wave and a miss to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down, a couple of Ks. Contos with 4 punch-outs. We head to the 9th inning. Last call for the Giants. Who's it going to be? Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Brewers are 3 outs away from their 2nd consecutive win against the Giants, and would give themselves a chance to win the series tomorrow. Don't forget, it's a matinee here at Miller Park tomorrow afternoon. 6-3 Brew Crew, a comeback effort tonight. Brewers were down 3-1 after 2.5. And it is a save situation, and that means Corey Knebel is on the pitch.
Yeah, picked up number 6 in yesterday's ball game. Corey now with 31 appearances, now tied with Jacob Barnes for the National League lead in appearances out of the bullpen. A 124 earned run average, has that long consecutive game streak with at least 1 strikeout.
Knebel will face Joe Panik to start it. Well, as Rock was commenting on the number of games pitched by the back of the Brewers bullpen, you can see that the Brewers are well represented. 31 games apiece for Barnes and Knebel. Panik hits a ball hard to left, but Perez is right there to make the catch. Afternoon affair tomorrow. No television tomorrow. Miller Lite, what's on tap? 1:10 first pitch. Paolo Espino will pitch for the Brewers. It'll be a second start. He'll take the spot of Matt Garza, who is on the disabled list, and Johnny Cueto is on the mound for the Giants.
It was entertaining to see Cueto, and Espino pitched pretty well at Wrigley Field.
He was unafraid at Wrigley Field, I think, is what the takeaway from that outing was, and it was a miserable day. Temperature was in the 40s. It was raining, and he hung in there 4 innings. Brewers won the game that Friday in Chicago, and Espino, if nothing else, proved that he belonged on a big league mound, and he belonged, or at least earned, a second chance, and he's getting that tomorrow. Native of Panama, Espino. A great story to make it to the big leagues. Incredible journey through the minor leagues. 10 years of the minor leagues, actually. Knebel has Aaron Hill 0-2, and a strike called on the outside corner.
I think Aaron Hill is up there looking curveball. I know he was looking curveball the second pitch. Not sure about the 2-strike pitch. This was right on the corner, and he couldn't walk it across better than that. 97.
Well, Corey Knebel, he continues this streak here to start the season. 31 consecutive strikeouts. And he's trying to chase down Aroldis Chapman, who set that mark in 2014 as a member of the Reds. 2 up, 2 down with a K. Knebel goes to work on Nick Hundley, the pinch hitter. Marlins are beating the Cubs right now 6-4. That game's in the bottom of the 8th at Wrigley. A Brewer win and a Cubs loss would put the Brewers back in first by themselves. Right now they are tied for first, technically percentage points behind the Cubs. Brewers have played 2 more games than Chicago. Hundley with a big swing. 2-1 to count. Reds up into the Cardinals again tonight. 6-4 Cincinnati beat St. Louis this evening in Cincinnati. Scooter Gennett only had 1 hit tonight. Hard to bounce back from a 4-homer game.
Yeah, how do you top that, right?
Another swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Knebel a strike away from nailing down the save. Couple of shakes. He's got the one he wants. 2-2. And a fastball. Hundley fouls it back. Tough to get to that one. 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs in this appearance for Corey.
He'd like to get him right here. Make this a nice, tidy 11-pitch inning. And another save. 2-2. Curveball fouled away. Well, that was some piece of hitting there by Hundley.
Yeah, it hung a little bit that time. You don't see too many of those out of Knebel. That's the only reason why Hundley able to stay alive. He gives him the good one, and he's done.
He buckled his knees, but he was able to foul it off. Do it again. Another 2-2. Count goes full. Full count. Knebel fires and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ball game over. The Brewers win again. Corey Knebel notches number 7. VR with a couple of hits, including a home run. And the Brewers give themselves a chance at a series win with a victory tomorrow.
Yeah, good situational hitting, timely hitting for the Brewers. Good 2-out hitting tonight. And how about this pitching staff? Outstanding work for the pitching staff once again. And Barnes, Knebel, Jared Hughes all of a sudden putting things together too. So good outing, good game here tonight at Miller Park.
6 runs on 10 hits. The Brewers beat the Giants by a final of 6-3, making a winner out of Jimmy Nelson. Time for Brewers Live. We check in with Craig Deshawn and Davey Nelson standing by down the right field line. Craig?
Okay, BA, looking forward to